All right, we are doing another prerequisite video. The first part of this that you're watching, or all of you are watching this video, which is the first part of section 2.4. Section 2.4 has several parts to it. There are some more complex concepts towards the end, which we'll do as an entire class. But for this first part, this is review. This will be a prerequisite video. You will watch it, you will try to solve some problems, and if it looks like you get it, then you can move on without taking notes and practice. So while you're watching this video, you do not have to take notes. If you end up having to take the notes, you'll see something like this redone, and you'll have to follow along with the notes. So again, if you can solve an equation, you can solve an inequality. We are going to treat these like equations, and we are going to add 3 to both sides. I get 2x is greater than 10, or x is greater than 5. If you are not even sure how I got that far, I'm going to need you to come in and get some help, because I'm just doing the different properties. I'm just not showing you every little detail, which is fine. We should be beyond that. I'm going to subtract 9, subtract 9. This becomes 5y is less than or equal to negative 5. I divide by 5, so y is less than or equal to negative 1. All right, I'm going to graph both of these. This is a 5. This is an open circle here at the 5. Is the variable on the left? Yes, it is. So if it is, we can make an arrow out of that inequality symbol. That tells me to graph everything to the right. Let's graph this second one. Negative 1 is my starting point. This is a closed circle. Is the variable, excuse me, on the left. And it is, so we can again make an arrow out of that inequality symbol. That is telling me to graph everything that is to the left or less than. Okay, just so you know, we can check solutions. If we were to check a 0, we would see that that does not work. Okay, and again, because it's not part of where the line is drawn. If we checked a negative 2, that would work, okay, if we plugged it in. So again, just a little dialogue on checking solutions. For this next one, multiple step equation, I want to remind you, okay, the m stays where it is, so we start moving everything else. We need to move this over, the 1. We need to move the 3 over, and we do that with inverse operations. Okay, I'm just showing you, again, what we're going to be doing, the strategy. Now I'm going to erase this. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. So I am going to subtract 1 from both sides. I end up with m over 3 is less than or equal to 5. Now I need to use inverse operations and multiply times 3 on both sides to get rid of the 3 in the denominator. These cancel. I end up with m is less than or equal to 15. Infinite solutions, please remember that. This is a closed circle. Again, I'm going to have a dialogue about solutions. If you weren't sure, let's say you weren't sure. You could check a point on either side of that solution set. Okay, so I just want to show you what that looks like. Let's check 14. All right, so I'm going to plug that in. This is going to be 1 plus 14 divided by 3 is less than or equal to 6. And let's solve. This is going to be 3 over 3 plus 14 over 3 less than or equal to 6. 17 over 3 less than or equal to 6. 17 over 3 is going to be, let's see, that's going to be like 5.6-ish, less than or equal to 6. Yes, that is true. Okay, so what that is going to tell me is that my graph is going to go this way. Okay, and I am graphing everything that is to the left. Right, if I were to check the 16, check 16, and I plugged it in, that is going to be 1 plus, and let's see, 16 over 3 is less than or equal to 6. This is going to be 3 over 3 plus 16 over 3 less than or equal to 6. 19 over 3 less than or equal to 6. This is going to end up being 6.3 is less than or equal to 6. And that, as you know, is not true. So what that tells me is the line does not go to the right. You do not have to do all of this just to graph a solution. I just am hoping to explain what that means as far as being a solution. Okay, but bottom line, if the variable is on the left, this tells you which way to graph. It tells you to go to the left. Last two problems. Number 13, I'm going to work out right here. So this is going to be p divided by negative 8 plus 9 greater than 13. Please think for just a moment. Am I going to have to flip the direction of the sign? Okay, so play this problem through with mental math. See if you can do the moves to solve it in your head. Okay, I'm hoping you made a decision whether you're going to have to flip the sign or not. We solve by subtracting 9, subtracting 9. Okay, this becomes p divided by negative 8 is greater than a positive 4. To get rid of the negative 8, I am going to multiply both sides by negative 8. These cancel on this side, and I end up getting p is less than negative 32. Please note I had to switch the direction of the inequality. The reason is I was multiplying both sides by a negative 8. Okay, so I did have to switch the direction of the sign. Let's go ahead and graph this. This is a negative 32. Open circle, variables on the left. So this tells me to graph everything that is to the left. Okay, so if we checked it, negative 33 would work, negative 31 would not, 0 would not. Let's go ahead and solve number 15. So this is 6 is greater than or equal to negative 6 times a plus 2. We are going to start by distributing. So that is where this problem is a tiny bit different. 6 is greater than or equal to negative 6a minus 12. Okay, that's what I get when I distribute that negative 6 times the a and then negative 6 times a positive 2. All right, here is what needs to stay. The a needs to stay. So everything else, I'm going to use magic pen, everything else needs to move over. Okay, now those lines are going to disappear in just a moment. I move them over using inverse operations. Okay, so I'm going to start by adding 12 to both sides. This ends up being an 18 is greater than or equal to negative 6a. Really quick, do I have to flip the sign? Okay, I'm hoping that you decided yes, you do. Divide by negative 6. Divide by negative 6. Automatically, I am going to flip the direction of the sign because I just divided by a negative. Okay? Please remember, you do not have to flip the sign when you are adding or subtracting a negative, only multiplying and dividing. This becomes negative. How about we not write with a highlighter? Okay. This becomes a negative 3 is less than or equal to a. Can we graph it right now? Should we graph it right now? Here's my negative 3, closed circle. First of all, is the variable on the left? No, it is not. So I'm going to use my magic pen again, and I want to remind you that we flipped the whole thing over. All right, once I flip the whole thing over, this becomes a is greater than or equal to negative 3. Now the variable's on the left, so it tells us to graph everything to the right. Okay, so that would be your solution set. And if you're not sure, okay, you can always check, did I do this right? I want to show you another little hack, simple hack. Okay, where would 0 be on this number line? Okay, it would be right about there. Now I picked 0 because 0 is super easy to plug into any equation. Okay, so I am going to check 0. All right, and I'm going to plug it in. This is 6 is less than or equal to negative 6 times 0 plus 2. This becomes 6 is greater than or equal to negative 6 times 2. So 6 is greater than or equal to negative 12. Yes, that means I shaded the right direction. Okay, and you can always do that. By the way, if you were going to try that little trick on this first graph, 0 is going to be way over here, but it's still easy to plug in, okay, for number 13, and you can make sure you shade it at the right direction. Okay, we're done with this video. So what I'm going to have you do is go back to Canvas, and you are going to try the pre-assessment for multiple step inequalities. There are only 5 questions. Right? If you can pass it, you skip the notes. If not, then you need to do notes on this, and you'll be redoing problems like this and taking notes on them. Thank you for watching.